One of the funniest things that I find is that people think that children come in and that they're here to teach them. But I am so clear that my children came in to teach me, and they showed me so much. I have discovered some of the amazing ways that children are our mirrors and conversations with the universe. They show up at just the right time. They appear so that we have an understanding of the parts of us that we need to heal. They speak to a specific parent based on the gender that they're born. And when they have their issues of their own life, it really is to take us back to how we felt and what we experienced at that exact same age so that we do the healing on ourselves. I think a lot of people project onto their children and they try to fix their children's problems and focus on what the child needs to heal, not realizing that the child is just a messenger and that we have to get the message. And so I learned this early on. My eldest Sage, he was 3 years old and he ended up having a severe asthma attack and ended up in the hospital on Mother's Day. So right there, I knew that was a sign for me because it specifically was Mother's Day, and it had to do with breathing and asthma. And in a previous video, I talk about the body and how the body is a purveyor of signs and symbols and messages and language. And I knew that asthma had to do with suppressed crying and grief and deep held sadness that was inside. And so my child was going through this. And even though he was going through this, I was really clear that this was also about me. And 3 years old is the age when I kind of went duck and cover. You know, we all have our age where when some things happen to us, we decide that we're going to shrink the light and conform and allow ourselves to find a way to protect ourselves from what's going on in our worlds. And 3 years old was the time that I actually started to shrink my light and duck and cover. And so this took me on the beginning of my journey where I started to really look at, what is not working in my life? What is bringing the sadness and the grief and the repressed emotions that I have? Because I was not a feeler at that time. I had been told from a young age to not cry, to withhold emotion. And I had become a workaholic. So feeling was a really difficult thing for me at that time. And so to look at my child in the state that he was in had me really look at, what do I need to do to get myself to feel something, just to feel anything at this point. And I started to do the work. But if you're someone that hasn't felt in a long while, it takes time to access those feelings. And lo and behold, he ended up back in the hospital the following year on Mother's Day. It happened for 3 years in a row. And at the time, I didn't really want to face how sad and upset and repressed I was within my personal relationship. I just kept trying to fix it and trying to fix him and trying to fix everybody and trying to deal with it and make sure that I could make it work, because I just knew that if I worked on myself enough, I'd be able to fix everything. And sometimes that's not the case. Oftentimes the work that you do on yourself, it really will illustrate either a shift in your environment where the people change, or it will mean a shift in your environment where the people move out of that experience or you have to. And so the spiritual journey is one that is not for the weak. We are all strong and we're given what we can handle and we can move through it. And it's a matter of taking every single experience and understanding that everything is coming to us for a reason, and specifically when we have children, that they show up for us for a reason. When we have male children, it typically has to do with the father's healing and growth, unless the woman is particularly masculine. When we have female children, it typically has to do with the mother and the growth that she has to go back and relive and encounter. So life is very intelligent and wise in the ways that it brings us the mirrors and the signs. It is quite intricate in how it's designed. I think we can look at the human body and realize what an amazing, brilliant machine this is, and the intricacy with which it was crafted. Well, all of life is in that way. We have an intricate web within our own matrix that we are here to uncover and discover. So as you look at your children, please don't condition them. Please don't force them to be mini replicas of you. Look at them as teachers and gurus, because that's what they are. Out of the mouths of babes, you'd be amazed at the wisdom that they are able to channel and the things that they are able to see. So continue to watch this series of conversations with the universe. Read my book, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell. I look forward to being with you again soon. In love, of love, with love, and as love. I am Simran. Be well.